Hi everyone, I'm Olivia from England, and my mom is a hair hunter. I bet you pictured her with huge scissors chasing me around the house. That's right, that's what it was. What was she doing? I'm not exactly in a typical situation, and I'll tell you everything in order. But in the meantime, give me some likes and write your comments. If any of the girls will be close to the story, please put a broken heart in the comments too. I'm with you. My mom has no hair. She has a tattoo of flowers all over her head. Of course it suits her very well. She looks like a model. Tall, thin, with a nice shaped head, big eyes and plump lips. For as long as I can remember, she shaved my head bald too. She kept telling me that when I grew up, she would remove my hair permanently with laser hair removal. When we moved here after my father and her got divorced, I started to meet other kids and they treated me with a kind of pity in their hearts. For a long time, I didn't understand why they did it. And then one day we went for a walk, and Tyler said, "Do you want me to buy you some ice cream?" "Thanks, Tyler, but I can buy my own. Mom gave me pocket money." "I'll buy you one. Save your money. You need it more." "For what?" "Mom said there's no cure for cancer and chemotherapy costs a lot. I'm sure it's not easy for you and Mom right now." "What kind of cancer?" "The one you have. That's why you lost all your hair, isn't it?" "What the?" Everyone thought I was sick. I went home, refusing to go for the walk, and I made a scene with my mother. I became curious why I almost never had hair in my life. Every year, my mom's reasons changed, and it became suspicious. But I didn't wait for an answer. I was left with one way to find out why I'd been shaved all of my short life. I borrowed a wig from Tyler's grandmother. He secretly stole it while his grandma was asleep. I put it on, looking silly because it was falling down my nose because of the size, and walked resolutely into the house. Mom was talking on the phone, and I sat down at the table in the kitchen, and when she turned around, the phone fell out of her hands. "Ah!" she yelled, unexpectedly. "What the hell is that thing on your head? Take it off right now!" "Why? I think my hair looks good on me." "Delirium! Take it off now! I feel bad!" "Why do you feel bad?" "This disgusting hair. Take it off, please. I have trichophobia." "I knew it wasn't me." In a nutshell, trichophobia is a fear of hair. With trichophobia, a person has a panic fear of scattered hair, and it has to do with both the patient and the people around them. My mother does not tolerate pets, but most of all, she hates combs left with even one hair in them. She goes into a stupor of horror even if she sees a hair on the clothes of a stranger walking ahead of her. My mother used to say that my hair didn't grow, and if it grew 5 millimeters, she'd say it would fall out soon. Then she'd say the skin on my head was too dry. Then she'd say it was oily, and every time it was something different. And it turns out she was stupidly lying to me. Out of resentment, I went to a local coffee shop where I ordered a huge bottle of hot chocolate. The waitress came up to me. She and I knew each other, but we had never been close. "Is something wrong?" "What makes you say that?" "I've been working for years. You order hot chocolate in the summertime after a big argument or a grudge." "The second one." "Found out that your mother has trichophobia, and you didn't have your hair shaved because of bad skin on your head." How did you know?" "I'm telling you, I've been working here for years. My father was trichophobic. When my mom wanted to grow her hair out, he found someone on the side who didn't care about being bald." "So?" "I found out about his affairs and gave him a surprise that he just ran away from." "You're telling me to kick my mother out?" "I'm telling you to draw the line. I know trichophobia is a disease, but if another person has it, why should you have the problem?" She was right. Her words made me think. Really, why was I adjusting to my mother's comfort level and she wasn't to mine? How much longer could this go on? Without finishing my hot chocolate, I went to a nearby beauty salon and negotiated a good deal with the owner. After her shift, I thoroughly swept the floors, washed, then headed home with a surprise. Having thoroughly prepared the house for my mother's arrival, I lay down on the bed in my room and fell asleep. I woke up to a loud scream. My mom was hysterical. "What is that? Whose hair is that? It's all over the place! Olivia!" My mother screamed. I walked out of the room and watched my mother squeamishly look at the floors and the furniture. She was shaking all over from what she saw, and then she ran into the bathroom. But there too was a surprise. Running into the room, and there was someone else's hair on her pillow too. This is the same gift I collected from the salon and brought into the house. What happened next? Amongst other things, my mother deprived me of my pocket money, took away my car, and made me clean it all up. But I refused and left the house with my things. I had no other choice. Since we couldn't live like this, I decided to go to my father, who'd agreed to take me in. His wife wasn't home. He listened to my story and said my mother had always been strange. That's why he left her. Dad let me stay with him for a while. I fell asleep on the couch in the living room and heard someone talking in the house. Honey, you know I don't mind, but you can't stay here. What if her rabid mother calls the police? I don't want any trouble. We have kids too. My dad tried to protect me, but I lied and said my mom had called a cab. I'll go to her. Thank you for everything. I couldn't go back to the house, so I drove to the coffee shop. The waitress let me sleep in her back room. I lived there for a few days, helping out with things at the coffee shop and getting paid a little pocket money, plus food. While I was cleaning the kitchen, I heard a familiar voice. It was my mom, and she came in and asked if I was there. What happened? Mom looked so pathetic, crying, saying she was sorry and ashamed of her actions, that it was all her fault, and instead of getting the treatment, she decided to put her problems on my shoulders. I was about to go out to her, but she continued the conversation. You know, she's not my typical girl. What do you mean? She has a congenital abnormality. I said I was shaving her hair because I was trachophobic, but I'm not. When she was born, the doctor said her scalp was developing severe pus-like tears. Her hair wasn't growing out, but in. That is, inside her scalp, causing festering. I treated her, ran to hospitals, constantly doing anything, but the results were the same. And I found no other way out but to constantly shave off her hair. And so she wouldn't be offended. So she wouldn't be offended. You made up a story about her illness? Yes, I shaved my hair so she wouldn't be offended. But why wouldn't you tell her the truth? Why? To give her a complex. She'd rather hate me than herself. It's not like she's guilty of anything. A glass fell out of my hands, and my mother noticed me there, crying. She started apologizing, asking for forgiveness. In general, we made up and I went home. I asked my mother for a favor, and she bought me a kitten. He became my emotional support animal, and we also ordered a cool wig from the same salon, which was almost indistinguishable from natural hair. Almost immediately after that, I met Tyler's new friend, and he had a crush on me. We started going out together. Things got better, but something else happened. While we were in a coffee shop for lemonade, a waitress I knew came up to us and brought us our order. She accidentally dropped her phone, and I leaned over to pick it up, and she accidentally stepped on my hair. When I got up, my wig came off, and the guy went into a stupor. He went into a panic attack, and we tried to calm him down, but he ran away. Tyler later revealed that my boyfriend has paleidophobia, a fear of bald people. This phobia is the opposite of trichophobia in its content. People with paleidophobia are disturbed by having a bald person around, and also this fear is often directed at the patients themselves. They are panic-stricken by the fear that they'll start to lose their hair. In most cases, however, these people have no identifiable preconditions for hair loss. Sometimes this phobia begins to manifest itself after a visit to the doctor, when a person is diagnosed with alopecia or attempts to identify its causes. Paleidophobia affects men and women equally, read the waitress on Google. I guess I wasn't destined to live a normal life. The first guy in my life ends up with exactly that kind of phobia. What's next for me? I scratched the back of my head and asked for another hot chocolate. What would you guys advise me to do? Tell me guys, did you like my story? Write your opinion about it in the comments below the video. Don't forget to like it, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.